I was watching it and I was thinking, that feels to me like the one thing that really differentiates Olise from Bayern's other forward players this season. If you speak to Bayern fans, they'll tell you, Kingsley Coman, Gnabry, Leroy Sané, all these guys have their strengths, but they all have one obvious weakness, is that none of them seem to be particularly clinical in front of goal. They can all take shots, they can all go by a guy, they can all create goals for their team, but none of them really have that ability to make sure they're finishing every single chance. I'm not saying that Sané couldn't hit that shot, I'm not saying that any of them couldn't hit that shot that Olise hit, but it just feels to me like this year Olise's came into this Bayern Munich team and he's brought a kind of clinical touch in front of goal, which has really differentiated him from those other three players. And sure enough, I was quickly checking the stats before we came on. He's now sitting on 0.87 goals and assists per 90 minutes, which is excluding penalties, which is better than Sané, Coman, Gnabry. It's even better than Jamal Musiala, which I thought was quite interesting. But the other stat that I thought was really, really interesting, and which is really worth kind of noting, was that kind of take a look at how many shots these guys are taking per game and how many they're getting on target. The amount of shots they're hitting per game is about the same. The amount of shots they hit on target is about the same. For example, Michael Olise is hitting about 1.46 shots on target per game. Gnabry is 1.63. Coman's 1.3. Leroy Sané is 1.2. So there's a wee bit of a difference, but not a huge difference. The big difference is their shot accuracy. How many times these guys got a shot on target? Leroy Sané is averaging 35% for shots on target. Kingsley Coman's averaging 39. Serge Gnabry's averaging 40. Michael Olise is averaging 47.2. So a 7% jump, which is actually better than Harry Kane this season. It's better than Jamal Musiala this season. It's more or less identical to Thomas Muller's this season. And as a result, him and Muller actually are the most clinical in terms of getting the shots on target in that Bayern Munich team this year. And I think that's just quite telling that he's obviously got 8 goals in the Bundesliga. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's third only to Harry Kane and Jamal Musiala for goals this season. And I just think he's been such a breath of fresh air when you think about that if you compare that to the kind of frustration that Bayern fans have had on that left wing all season long, whether it be Gnabry, Coman, Leroy Sané. Michael Olise is just slotted into that right wing position seamlessly. And it's the guy, by the way, who's only 1 year older than Jamal Musiala. We're not talking about some 27 or 28-year-old who's, a well-seasoned pro. We're talking about a young player with bags of potential, and he's just arrived at Bayern and he's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine being the match winner for this team when I have to be, because he's so clinical in front of goals. So I don't know. I just felt like that was worth noting because that goal was beautiful, and he just seems to do it time and time again where these other guys struggle with it.